all the latest military news update. This is AFP Community News, hosted by Rob Susan every 12 noon, Mondays to Fridays. Only here on DWDD Armed Forces Radio. One AFP for a stronger Philippines.
AFP vows to secure first Bangsamoro parliamentary elections. $18 Islamia fighters to NPA rebels yield to military in central Mindanao. Final tranche of Aztec stall heights starts tomorrow. Palit Plaka program expanded.
Hello to everyone, especially to our troops at Camp Emilio Ginaldo in Quezon City. Today is Monday, September 8, and this is AFP Community News, your source for the updates on the armed forces and other developments across the country. I am Rob Susan Abay here to bring you today's stories.
DWDD Armed Forces News.
For the brief overview of our news, the Armed Forces of the Philippines pledged its full commitment to safeguard the historic Bangsamoro parliamentary elections during a command conference at Camp Siongco, Maguindanao del Norte. Defense Secretary Gilberto Chodoro Jr. led the high-level consultation and directed AFP leaders, including Chief of Staff General Romeo Browner Jr. and Army Commanding General Lieutenant General Antonio Navarrete, to ensure the success of the polls. Secretary Chodoro highlighted the BPE as a milestone in the peace process and democratic journey of the BARM. The AFP vowed to secure the elections to guarantee they are free, orderly, and peaceful for the people of Mindanao.
DWDD Armed Forces News.
18 Islamia members, including their leader and 2 New People's Army, surrendered separately to the military and local officials in central Mindanao. The Dala group turned over high-powered firearms and explosive to Lieutenant Colonel Christian Cabading of the 92nd Infantry Battalion and Brigadier General Vladimir Cagara of the 1st Brigade Combat Team during surrender rites in Datu Saudi Ampatuan, Maguindanao del Sur. 6th Infantry Division Commander Major General Donald Gomiran said the extremists vowed to end their terror activities with 5 identified as bomb-making experts. Meanwhile, 2 NPA members surrendered to Lieutenant Colonel Eric Zen Dacoco of the 105th Infantry Brigade and Mayor George Falgui of Kiamba, Sarangani.
Armed Forces Radio.
From NOLCOM, let us hear some information from Joanne about NOLCOM NICA 3 raise awareness, urged the Pampanga youth to take action on West Philippine Sea and national security.
The Northern Luzon Command Armed Forces of the Philippines and the National Intelligence Coordinating Agency, or NICA Region 3, organized a one-day information education campaign on September 5, 2025 at Duquit National High School in Mabalacat, Pampanga. The activity, led by the 1st Civil Relations Group of the Civil Relations Service Armed Forces of the Philippines, brought together 1,200 students to promote awareness and uphold the country's sovereignty and territorial rights in the West Philippine Sea and national security. Aside from advocating for the West Philippine Sea, NICA 3 also discussed the deceptive recruitment tactics of the communist terrorist group, backed by a testimony from a former rebel who shared her personal experience of being misled into joining the New People's Army. First CRG-CRS AFP Group Commander Colonel Enrique G. Rafael, Philippine Army, highlighted the significance of the event, particularly in light of China's illegal, coercive, aggressive, and deceptive activities in the West Philippine Sea. He said that protecting the Philippines' maritime territory, especially the West Philippine Sea, is not just a military or political duty, but a generational responsibility that begins with youth awareness and action. He also emphasized that while the AFP is shifting its focus to external defense, the gains made in internal security operations should not be abandoned, but rather sustained. This is John Sagak reporting for AFP Community News, One AFP for Stronger Philippines.
Thank you, Joanne from NOLCOM.
DWDD Armed Armed Forces News.
A total of 82 members of underground mass organizations formally renounced their support for the CPP-NPA and pledged allegiance to the government in a ceremony held at the Lupi Municipal Gym, Camarines Sur. The event marked the culmination of the Modified Community Support and Sustainment Program of the 81st Infantry Battalion in 8 barangays of Lupi. Attorney Sheikh Fred Tayo of the Public Awareness Office administered the oath, with Lupi Vice Mayor Noel Agravante witnessing the ceremony. The initiative is expected to bolster community resilience against armed group influence and strengthen the peace and development efforts in the municipality.
DWDD Armed Forces News.
Government forces recovered a cache of explosives and firearms during a combat operation in Malinaw, Albay. Police reported that the seized items, including a shotgun without a serial number, 2 improvised explosive devices, rifle grenade launcher, 31 linked 7.62 mm bullets, 5 shotgun shells, a rifle grenade case, and 2 magazines for a 5.56 mm rifle. Authorities also confiscated 2 New People's Army's flag and bandolier in a black pail. The recovery dealt another blow to communist terrorist group remnants operating in the province.
Armed Forces Radio.
More updates from Gina. 68 IB concludes evaluation, earns certification for operational readiness. Go ahead, Gina.
Yes, Raf, the 68th Infantry Battalion formally completed its battalion evaluation and certification program in Laur, Nueva Ecija. The BECP measured the unit's leadership, logistics, administration, discipline, and operational readiness to ensure mission preparedness. 2nd Infantry Division Commander Major General Ramon Zagala commended the Kaagapay troopers for their dedication and stressed the value of continuous training to sustain excellence. With the certification, the 68th IB reaffirms its readiness to uphold peace, security, and public service, especially in its area of operations in Mindoro. This is Gina reporting for AFP Community News, 1 AFP for Stronger Philippines.
Thank you, Gina.
DWDD Armed Forces News.
The 1st Civil Military Operations Company of 12th CMO Battalion conducted an information campaign on Army recruitment in Barangay Villaflor Community Center, Kawayan City, Isabela yesterday. Around 20 senior high school students and barangay officials attended the event, which also involved the 6th Special Forces Company and other government agencies. The activity included leaflet distribution and discussions on the Army's recruitment process. It aimed to raise awareness and strengthen community support for national security.
DWDD National News.
And now for our national news, President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. left for a 3-day state visit to Cambodia. The president was invited by King Norodom Sihamoni, and his trip serves as a reciprocal visit following Prime Minister Hun Manet's visit to Manila last February. PBBM said that they have seen dynamism in the partnership between the Philippines and Cambodia across key sectors. These sectors include defense and security, trade, agriculture, heritage preservation, among others. The chief executive also acknowledged Cambodia as a strong partner of the Philippines in fighting transnational crime.
Armed Forces Radio.
On the other line, let's hear more from Spencer about authorities nab communist terrorists in Camarines Norte joint operation.
Rof, government forces arrested the communist terrorist member in a joint police and military operation at Purok 5, Barangay Malasigil, Labo, Camarines Norte. The suspect, identified as alias Fatima, 29 of Platoon Raymark, Sub-Regional Military Area 4B, was served a warrant of arrest for attempted homicide issued by the Municipal District Court of Lopez, Quezon. She was apprehended by combined personnel of the 16th Infantry Division and policemen. The arrest underscores the government's firm resolve to dismantle communist remnants, uphold the rule of law, and protect communists in the region. This is Spencer, reporting for AFP Community News, 1 AFP for a Stronger Philippines.
Thank you, Spencer.
DWDD National News.
The Toll Regulatory Board has authorized the implementation of the third and final tranche of toll rate adjustments for the Subic-Clark-Tarlac Expressway o SCTEX. Starting tomorrow, September 9, motorists will pay an additional 0.64 per kilometer for Class 1 vehicles, 1.29 for Class 2, and 1.93 for Class 3. The additional rates, which followed strict compliance with regulatory procedures and thorough review, are part of the approved 2020 and 2022 petition for periodic toll adjustments for SCTEX due in 2021 and 2023. The TRB, the Basis Conversion and Development Authority, and NLEX Corporation agreed to implement the adjustments in 3 tranches over 3 years to lessen the impact of the increase on motorists.
DWDD National News.
Motorcycle riders can now claim their license plates at driver's license renewal offices in Metro Manila. Land Transportation Office Metro Manila Regional Director Roque Verzosa III said, covered by the expansion are riders whose certificates of registration have no plate numbers, as well as drivers still using their motor vehicle file numbers as temporary plates. Owners of two-wheelers with MV file numbers starting with 13 and 1801 can claim their plates if they have been issued a 7-character plate and a 6-character green plate. Vehicles registered in 2017 or earlier and carrying a temporary plate are also eligible. LTO National Capital Region Plate Section Chief Pablito Pandi also said that motorcycle license plates from 2018 have been released to dealers.
Armed Forces Radio.
Some information from Jai about the Army Chief reiterates command guidance to 776 company commanders. Go Jai.
Yes, Raw Philippine Army Commanding General Lieutenant General Antonio Navarrete reiterated his command guidance to Army company commanders nationwide during a video teleconference in Fort Bonifacio, Taguig City. A total of 776 company commanders joined the virtual meeting, where he emphasized capability development, troop morale, and welfare support for soldiers and their families. Lieutenant General Navarrete has been consistently engaging with frontline units to identify needed improvements and boost operational effectiveness. His directive highlights the Army's commitment to readiness, professionalism, and soldier welfare. This is Jai reporting for AFP Community News, one AFP for a stronger Philippines.
Thank you, Jai.
DWDD National News.
For other national news, 9 more contractors have been identified by the Commission on Elections to have possibly extended donations to candidates in the 2022 elections. This will be added to the list of 34 contractors the COMELEC initially forwarded to the House of Representatives. COMELEC Chairperson George Garcia disclosed that the COMELEC will issue today the show cause orders requiring the 43 contractors to explain within 5 days why they should not be held liable for giving prohibited donations to candidates and political parties. Based on the statements of contributions and expenditures or SOSE, the 43 contractors gave donations to 7 national candidates and 15 political parties and party list groups. The poll chief added that they will also issue show cause orders to the candidates and political parties.
DWDD National News.
4 out of the 15 top contractors President Fray Marcos Jr. listed with anomalous projects have no derogatory records. This is based on the Department of Public Works and Highways Contractors Performance Evaluation. The contractor's CPA came up following Public Works Secretary Vince Dixon's directive to suspend all locally funded flood control projects awarded to the leading contractors in preparation for the creation of an independent commission. The CPE is used to check if a contractor complies with all the requirements needed to finish a project on time. It is also used as a basis for determining if payments should be made for a project.
Armed Forces Radio.
From our report on the ground, let's hear the report of Shah about the Army troops turned over 2 high-valued former rebels to Bukidnon provincial government.
Yes, Rof, two high-valued former rebels were formally turned over to the provincial government of Bukidnon at the 403rd Infantry Peacemaker Brigade headquarters. The two, known as alias Shaggy and Pia, former rebels of the Northern Central Mindanao Regional Committee, surrendered following a successful military operation in Malaybalay City and in Pasugong. They received immediate cash assistance under the government's ECLIP program. It emphasized joint efforts of the military and local government to advance peace and reintegration in Bukidnon. This is Shane Araneta reporting for AFP Community News, one AFP for a stronger Philippines.
Thank you so much, Sha.
DWDD National News.
Meanwhile, the draft executive order that will pave the way for the creation of an independent commission that will investigate anomalous flood control projects has been submitted to President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. Executive Secretary Lucas Bersamin said they have given the draft EO a very serious study. He added it's a very ideal commission for the purpose of looking into flood control anomalies. The president, who ordered an audit of the government's flood mitigation projects, earlier noted that the panel will be making recommendations on how to proceed against liable parties, whether to file cases with the Office of the Ombudsman or the Department of Justice.
DWDD National News.
President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. decried the deeply rotten corruption in public infrastructure projects. In his latest podcast, Marcos said revelations of long-running anomalies have kept him awake at night, describing them as rust and rot that have plagued projects for decades. He added that he was very upset at how ordinary Filipinos were shortchanged while public funds were diverted for luxury items. Still, PBBM said that he has never once regretted running for president despite the enormity of the problem, particularly corruption.
Armed Forces Radio.
Let us hear more updates from Emmy about Defense Chief honors Korean War veterans, urges vigilance against modern threats.
Good afternoon. The Defense Secretary Gilberto Chudoro Jr. led the commemoration of the Korean War veterans of the Philippines Memorial Day at the libingan ng mga bayani. In his keynote, he warned against modern security threats, stressing the importance of strong alliances and resilience in defense of freedom and democracy. Secretary Chudoro reaffirmed the Philippines' enduring partnership with South Korea and pledged to strengthen national defense under President Marcos' leadership. The ceremony included a wreath laying to honor the sacrifices of the Filipino soldiers who served in the Korean War. This is Amir reporting for AFP Community News, one AFP for stronger Philippines.
Thank you so much, Emmy.
DWDD National News.
On the other hand, infestation by the red strip soft scale insect or RSSI continued to destroy sugarcane plantations in the Visayas. Up to 4,324 hectares of sugarcane farms in the region were destroyed by the pest as of September 2. Negros Occidental reported the widest pest-affected area with over 4,000 hectares, followed by Iloilo and Leyte. The infestation has displaced more than 1,400 farmers in 102 barangays in Capiz, Iloilo, Leyte, and Negros.
DWDD National News.
Department of Education Secretary Sonny Angara highlighted the need for reforms at the DepEd kicked off National Teachers Month. Angara said he does not forget the primary instructions of President Bongbong Marcos, which is to take care of teachers as they are the heart of the educational system. He said teachers already received the biggest medical allowance in DepEd history. The DepEd chief added that the 10,000 pesos medical allowance is also tax-free. Angara also mentioned the paperwork required of teachers has been reduced by 57%.
DWDD National News.
More than 11,400 aspiring lawyers took the first day of the 2025 bar examinations yesterday. This represents a turnout of 86.7%. Supreme Court Associate Justice Ami Lazaro Javier, the chairperson of the 2025 bar examination, said that more than 5,000 are first-time takers, more than 4,200 are repeaters, and almost 2,000 are refreshers. There are 14 testing centers nationwide.
DWDD Armed Forces News.
And that concludes today's broadcast, and thank you for tuning in, especially to our audience on AFP Radio, the WWD's Facebook page. Be sure to join and catch us again tomorrow for more stories and updates, same time and same station. Once again, this is Ralph Susan Abay for AFP Committee News, one AFP for a stronger Philippines.
Behold the latest military news update. This is AFP Community News, hosted by Rob Susan every 12 noon, Mondays to Fridays. Only here on DWDD Armed Forces Radio. One AFP for a stronger Philippines.
Ito ang DWDD 1134 kHz AM. Balita, impormasyon at musika. Ito ang DWDD AFP Radio. Boses ng Kawal Pilipino.